Hello everyone, my name is Arun and welcome to my channel. This series is a tutorials on C programming, and in this tutorial we'll be looking at functions. Now, to explain in simple terms, function is actually a small bunch of code that helps you to do a certain operation again and again. Let's say for instance you want to calculate the area of a triangle. Okay, you write a small piece of code and you have to calculate the triangle for like say 100 times. So which is better, writing the same bit of code again and again and again, or writing the bit of code only once and then calling it every now and then by changing the input values? So obviously writing it once and calling them with different input values is much simpler, and that is what functions helps us to do. If you have certain bit of operation that you're going to do again and again and again, functions help you to write that particular bit of operation in a template or a generic manner, and thereby for the different inputs you can get for different values of input you can use the same bit of code without modifying it heavily. Okay, and that's what we're going to do in this program. So in this program, what is the idea is, we'll calculate the area of a square or a triangle. We'll ask the user to specify the area of whether he or she wants to calculate the area of a square or a triangle, and then based on the choice we'll actually call the functions to calculate the area of a triangle or a square. Okay, sounds easy. It does sounds easy. It may look a little confusing, but it sounds easy. So first we need is a variable called as choice, a character variable, okay, which is going to store the user choice. Then let's create a double variable and call it area. This is the one wherein which is going to gather the area, and then let's put a printf statement stating the user enter T for triangle or S for square, and then the options we give the user are T/S, and then you put a semicolon, and then let's call scanf to ask the user the choice. So we'll just put %C and then ampersand choice. Okay, and now what we're going to do is, since we asked the user, let's check it out. If choice equals small t, or you can also enter a capital T. Okay, choice equals a big T, capital T. What are you going to do? We'll actually call this area equals, we're going to call this function area underscore triangle. Man, how many mistakes do I do while typing? Anyway, we're going to call this function area underscore triangle. Okay, T in capitals, and then we put printf, and then we say the area of the triangle is, and then we put colon, we'll put as %G to print it out, and then we put a \n so that it goes to the next line, and then we put area. There we go. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this entire thing and paste it over here, and we put else if instead of small t we put small s, instead of capital T we put capital S, and instead of triangle we put square, and we say the area of the square is everything else remaining the same, and then we put else, and then within brackets. Okay, this is a single statement, line statement, so we can just say printf, and we open brackets and we say unknown option exiting. There we go. And now let's compile this to see if there are any errors. There aren't any errors, but if you just notice, it just gives us two warnings, and it says the implicit declaration of the function area underscore triangle and area underscore square are missing. Okay, those are two that we do not have. Don't worry, we'll write it just now. And now what we're going to do, we have to write a function to calculate the area of a triangle, and that function has to get the user inputs and calculate the triangle area as well. So let's define that. To define a function, what do? Go above the main program and then write double area underscore triangle, okay, area underscore triangle, and within two curly brackets you write all the contents you want. This definition of a function is simple. You just have to write the function name, and before that you have to type the data type of the function as to send. If there is no if the function does not return anything, you just have to put void, which we'll talk about in another future tutorial, okay. And then within this normal brackets, you have to put all the variables that it is going to take as inputs. For this function there aren't any inputs, so we can leave that as it is. And now we put sides of the triangle, okay, and then we say double a comma b comma c. We need 3 variables to store the sides, and then we put double s, okay. So let's give this something, semi perimeter, and this one over here, let's cut this and paste it over here, sides of the triangle, and then we put double area, obviously area of the triangle, okay. And then we get the user input for sides, and let's write this out. Printf, enter the side 1 for triangle, and then we put scanf, and we put percentage, like percentage lf, since this is a double we put percentage lf, and then we put ampersand a, okay. And now we'll copy this line and paste it thrice to get for the other ones. So paste it twice, and I put this as side 2, and this is side 3, and over here I put this as C and put this as B, and thereby we get the 3 sides for the triangle. And now let's calculate the semi perimeter. S equals A plus B plus C. I'm using the Heron's formula, okay. So this calculates the semi perimeter. And then let's find the area. Area equals SQRT, the square root function, which is present in the mathematics library. So S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C. So S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. There we go. And now we just have to put one more value, so return area. This way the area of a triangle is actually complete, okay. This function for area of a triangle is complete, so we do all the calculations over here. This is the return statement over that, and that is it, and that will do. And likewise you have to write the function for square, and that is actually easy. So what you're going to do is just going to copy this kind of code over here and to make modifications accordingly. So this is area square, okay, and then we just need only one side, so we'll remove this line over here, and this is not semi perimeter, this is actually side, and then we're going to remove this area. We don't need this line over here. I'll tell you why. Get the user input for side, enter the side, not 1, we just enter the side for the square, okay, and then we can remove these lines over here, and this is just S. And then what you can do is you can remove these 2 lines as well, and then return statement, instead of just returning area, I can return S times S. Because the expression is fairly simple, I can do this in one line. Otherwise I can just write this in multiple statements like this and proceed with it. Either one of them is fine. Now if you were to look at it, in this case, if I were to return this statement put this statement directly over here, actually you can put it, okay. For convenience and simplicity, you can write this in multiple lines and proceed with it. That's not a problem. Here, since this is actually very simple on its own, you can just write this in a single line and it will just work just fine. Now if I compile this, I don't have any warnings or errors. Now to run this, I already have the shell script written over here, which actually compiles, builds and executes everything. So let me open up a terminal. Let me open up this terminal and push this considerably up. Oh, come on. Yeah, better. Let me clear the screen up. And if I list the files, there is this area.sh over here. You get this, we don't need it. And let's run this. Since this file already has executable permission, I can directly run it. So bash, and now I say areas.sh, press enter. Now it asks me for the triangle or a square. Let me put T for triangle. So it asks me for the 3 sides. Let me put 3, 4 and 5. There it does. The area of the triangle is 6 units. Perfect. And similarly, if I run this again, it'll ask me for a different a triangle or a square. Let me enter S. So let me give like 5, and the area of the square is 25. Perfect. And this way, if you notice in this particular program over here, I can call this function n number of times in this entire program. You can call it any number of times. The only thing I have to do is I just have to make sure that it gets a proper input and it gives out the proper output where I specify this in the program. Other than that, this will work just perfectly fine. And that is your small introduction to writing functions in C programming language. Okay. Now in the next tutorial, what we're going to do is I'll talk about another way to write functions. Okay, by putting a declaration definition on the top and writing the functions on the bottom. Okay, we'll also talk about header files in the future videos, which will be really helpful for writing functions. Now that's all I have for you all in this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time in another interesting video. Till then, take care.